Alright guys, so we're back and trying out some Farsight Enclaves, with the release of the new Tau Codex. I've got a double patrol Outrider here with 6 commanders, all kitted out really in kind of unique ways. I've got a burst commander that's really focused on mulching infantry, and then I've got a lot of different commanders that have plasmas and missiles and a bunch of different configurations there. So they're gonna zip around the battlefield and take out hard targets. And then accompanying those commanders, I have 2 bodyguard units, one with double frag cannon target lock, so they can shoot out line of sight and ignore cover. And then the other unit has 2 plasmas and a missile launcher, so that they can shoot harder targets. Both bodyguard units have 4 shield drones, so they're a little bit tankier, a little bit tougher. And then I have 2 broadsides with rail guns and smart missile systems to just pick out harder targets and, again, shoot out of line of sight. For troops, I have 2 units of fire warriors. And then in the Outrider, I have 2 6-man Vespids so that they can get actions without failing, and then 2 4-man units of Kroot Hounds. But that's my list.
All right, guys, Thomas Bird here from Tabletop Life. Joe just went over his army list for Tau, so we got a lot of Tau players here, so we should have some different variety for you guys to test out and see. Some new stuff, the new hotness. I've changed my list slightly again from the other day. I'm not using that Hammer Strike Speeder. I'm going to try to put in a new thing, Eisenhorn Inquisitor, so I can do some extra easy secondaries potentially. So I'm picking Psychic Interrogation this time, see if I can farm some CP or some points off of his characters before I get shot to bits. But the rest of the army more or less unchanged. Patrol, we got Chaplain on bike. He's got the Seal of Oath. He's a Master of Sanctity. He knows +1 to hit and +1 to wound for shooting. We got 2 Vitrix bodyguards. We got 1 5-man infiltrators with a helix. We got 2 Landspeeder Storms. So those guys are great for screening and grabbing objectives for cheap and moving quickly. Everyone else is kind of slow. Those guys move quick. The other patrol is going to be Tigurius. He knows Veil of Time, Minor Heroes, and Psyche Fortress. 2 elites here. Judiciar, he's got Warden of McCrag, Warlord trait, so he can heroic 6 inches. I don't know if that will come up in this game, but maybe. You got Apothecary, Primaris, he's got the Vox, so his Feel No Pain range is increased to 6 inches, but he's just a regular cheap guy. No Selfless Healer. I didn't have enough Warlord traits for him. Because the other Warlord trait was on the Chaplain, he has Rights of War, so he's going to have the OPSEC bubble. 10-man Intercessors, going to have the Assault Bolters, Grenade Launchers, and the Sergeant has a Thunder Hammer. 5-man Hellblasters with the Sergeant has Master Crafted. They got the Assault Incinerators, so lots of strength 6/7 shots. And then Rock and Steel, the one big unit of 6 Eradicators with all heavy and multi-meltas, like maxed out for heavy. They always combat squad. That's what they're doing this game. See if we can drop some big hits on his guys. So that's the list. We'll go over the mission and the secondaries, and then we'll get started. All right, here is the mission we'll begin playing today. We're playing the Scouring. It's no longer the soccer goals. It's got the big deployment zones, 18 inches up, so big hammer and anvil type game, but the objectives are still close. They changed it to a hold 1, so the new secondary Auspex scan, not to be confused with the Space Marines Auspex scan, is basically like you got to scan an objective, and at the beginning of the next command phase, you can get points. So that goes to your primary. So you can only scan each objective once, and at the end, you check how many did you scan throughout the game. So 3 points per objective. So a neat little twist to see if we're going to scan, get some extra points. Look at our secondaries. Thomas, Ultramarines, picking Osa Moment. Assassinate, he's got 6 characters. And then, we're going to try to get some stuff done with our friend Eisenhorn, Psychic Interrogation. On his side, he's got 2 the last. His 3 units were the big Crisis Bodyguard suits. And what was the 3rd unit?
It's the two bodyguards and 1 commander.
And then 1 commander. So 2 bodyguard units and then 1 commanders are his 3 most expensive to the last. He's going for Engage, and he's doing R&D, the new rod. So he's got some little chaff guys that can run around and do that. So we'll see what it goes. Let's look at the terrain. We did war zone terrain placement. So player placed terrain. Objectives are pretty close together, so we started trying to block fire lanes. He put this force in the middle. Thought that was interesting because it makes a nice one to shoot, but it also opens up this center pretty good. So there's some pretty deep fire lanes all the way from objective to objective. Same thing going this way. So we'll see. We've already rolled for sides. He picked the side with all the ruins. The side I'm stuck in, kind of meager hiding holes. I don't have any obscuring terrain. I do have some crates and a forest, so we're going to see if he goes first, if I don't get shot to pieces. But we'll go through the deployment, and then we'll come back and see who gets to go first. We'll be back. All right, we're here at the top of turn 1. We have not rolled for sides yet, but let's look a quick look at the deployment. He's set up his bodyguard unit. Again, these crisis suits here. 4 crisis suits and some drones. That's his bodyguard unit. So all of these big suits or characters cannot be shot. These are actually the broadsides. So there is quite a little line here that I could see down. You can just kind of spot through that gap to see. So if I need to, I can. I debated putting my infiltrators right on the line just to kind of threaten, but I didn't know if I did it. So I decided to be safe and put him here. He had his jump commander. He could potentially jump up 20 and land on this building and shoot behind here. So these guys being under there actually prevents that, because if he would jump on top of that ruin, he would be within 5 inches and would be in engagement range, so he can't actually jump there. So it's good. So we're just deploying pretty defensively, trying to stay out of line of sight, using my own bodyguards to see if I can mitigate some damage if he goes first. If I go first, I don't know what I'm going to do, because he's got a lot of stuff hidden. I may try to just jump out there and take it. He's got his other bodyguard unit in reserve, so, you know, I might want him to try to stick his head out, and I got to push up on those bodyguards, or his suits are just going to shoot me forever. So let's roll for first turn. Let's do it on the box here. A 3, a 4. He's beat me on all 3 rolls. It's meant to be. I'm not going to redeploy. Let's do it to it. So I will be back after Joe's movement phase. Yes, good luck. Wish. All right, he's finishing up his movement. Kroot Hounds are moving up. I moved those guys just outside of an inch, so if you want to charge them, you have to kind of go around. Over here, this guy did the scan on this objective because he had nothing else better to do. These guys did the rod, or the new RNG. These guys got the full buffs, the bodyguards, so they are counting as stationary even though they advanced. They fully advanced 8. They're re-rolling anything else? Is that it?
They are re-rolling 1s. 6s are going to auto wound.
Auto wound.
And then they ignore all
modifiers. Yep. These drones are popping up here so they can try to mark a light downtown from the commander. He can just see those eradicators over the wall. Mm-hmm. This guy jumped from behind that wall, advance. He could just get his gun to see these infiltrators. They got the I reroll all my hits and wounds. He's going to try to jump back to his bodyguards here to get protected with a fire and fade type move. And then we got some dogs over here who moved up just to try to potentially block me from smiting, because I told him I had some smites that I could potentially pick off guys if they are in the wrong position. So now he's going to shoot. We'll come back after the shooting. I know it's going to be a lot. These guys got the air burst fragmentation grenades, so D6 shots per guy, 8 shots. There's 2 shots each, right? Yeah, and they ignore cover. Each, yeah. So ignore cover. 2D
-2.
Because you're within 18?
Yeah.
It's going to be a spicy meatball. We'll see. I got everyone in minus for the most part.
Roll 1s to win.
We'll see who he shoots. All right, we'll be back. All right, we are here at the end of turn Tau shooting. So we're at the bottom of turn 1 is about to start. So let's talk about what happened. So this suit guy, he did his fire and fade, but he popped off full rerolls, all hits, all wounds. I decided it wasn't worth popping transhuman there, and he picked up the 5 infiltrators casually. Sad. He was going to go back here next to his bodyguards behind this wall with his fire and fade, but he realized it's a it's a dicey roll off. Guilliman can just walk through there and potentially charge him, so you don't want to risk it. So he bopped this way to try to be next to those dogs so he doesn't get shot. We'll see if that works out for him. Over here, airburst fragmentation guys, they popped off for 27 shots with their 8d6. They shot at the Hellblasters. They were in Montca, so they were re-rolling. They ignored my -1 to hit from Tigurius, and they're advancing with the Coldstar guy giving them the buff. They're wounded on 4s. They're -2 AP because they're within 18 inches range. It was rough. It was like 14 wounds. So about half, right on the numbers. And I just popped off with 5s and 6s for my Feel No Pain, and I only lost 2 guys. He had one more burst cannon commander. He shot with his prototype weapon. He was able to pick off that last wound, but I rolled hot too to kind of not lose 2 guys. Over here, he did blow up a speeder. With this guy, he could just barely see the tip of his thing, so he shot him and blew up my speeder. The other suits over here, that's right, this guy was able to just see my eradicators, and he shot. I did transhuman. He had marker lights from these drones up top, giving marker lights to both the eradicators and the speeder, so he's able to mitigate that force I was standing in. He shot twice, killed 2. He split his broadsides missiles over here and on the Hellblasters, and I was able to stay alive. I popped the +1 save against damage 1 weapons. So 1 dude's alive with 2 wounds. Over here we got 2 Hellblasters left alive. So now it's our turn to get vengeance. He did do the rod here, and he did do the strategic scan. We talked about that there. So not scoring any points. Oh, did you do it on? You said this guys. You went that one. Oh, those guys are gonna do it. All right. So we'll be back after my turn 1. See where I move and see what I can do. All right. Here we are. The grand strategy is revealed. End of my movement phase. I've moved the intercessors up. They're shuffling up. They want to charge through that wall. They are within 7, so they need a 6 on the dice. They need a +1 from Guilliman, but he's going to probably spend the -2. He reminded me he can make a suit -2, and when he does that, it makes it -2 for everybody. So that's bad. So I put them in the doctrine, the assault doctrine. So if they do make it, they're going to be an extra AP on their fighting. These eradicators moved up. This guy shuffled in the forest. He's so slow. The speeder moved up. He's in with heroic range, but we want to kill a couple of dogs so that guy can now be shot by all the eradicators. Hellblasters moved up the shortest path, and then I grew a guy back with the apothecary so he can be a little bit closer for this charge. Gil moved around the corner as much as he could, so he's within 11 inches of this boss. He may be shorter to go around this corner here. I'll measure that in a minute. But with the -2, it maybe end up being the same. Yep. So he needs 11, so +1. He needs a 10. Not for nothing. He might make that. And then we cast some psychic powers. So after we healed, got the invulnerable save off. We cast Veil of Time on the intercessors, so they can get a free reroll on this charge. Eisenhorn ran up, cast Psychic Veil, so he cannot be shot unless he's the closest. And then he also popped off Psychic Interrogation, got that off, and interrogated that crisis suit before he died. Where are my secrets? Xenos scum! So that's it. We're going to go do some shooting, and then it's going to be go time. I don't have a lot of shoot. I'm going to kill some dogs, and maybe I kill that suit. And then we're going to assault the crap out of them. All right, we'll be back. All right, here we go. The charges are about to happen. You're spending the strat to make these guys -2.
I am definitely spending the strat.
He can overwatch, so I got to be careful. He's got the auto wound on 6s, so whoever goes first is probably going to take some overwatch. But you have reroll just 1s?
Yeah, reroll just once.
Yeah. And then here's what I need. With all the +1s from Guilliman and the -2s from him, the intercessors need an 8 on the dice. Judiciary needs a 7 on the dice. And the Hellblasters need a 7 on the dice. I do have Veil of Time on the intercessors, so they'll be able to reroll it for free. So I'm going to go ahead and take it with them first. I guess you want to overwatch me first?
I will overwatch you first.
So,
do you want
to roll it, or do you want to just roll the dice first? I'll roll the things.
Let's do it.
Since we got the camera going, we'll just do it. I need an 8. A 7, but I got Veil of Time. I don't make it. Snake eyes. But your overwatch is wasted. So we'll shoot it, but
yep.
I won't make it. Judiciary needs a 7. He makes it. The Hellblasters need a 7. They make it. They're supposed to 8.
Cool.
And then Guilliman We'll come back and see if he wants to. All right, the dust has settled, so we did get that shot off, kill the dogs, and then killed the commander with the all the eradicators. Over here, Guilliman failed his 10-inch even with a CP. The Hellblasters made their charge, but they would have blocked Guilliman, and they also were like, hey, without the intercessors coming in, we're not gonna do anything. So discretion is a better part of valor. They're just gonna say they made it and high five that Judiciar. He's YOLOing, try to kill a couple drones, unlikely to do much damage, and he'll die, but he'll have to shoot at him. So there is that. So let's just do those quick attacks, and then we'll be done. So he's going to base these guys. He moved 10, so I wonder if there is any reason to... Actually, let's do it like that. So he had 10. He's going to come over here.
Seems good.
And then try to get within 1 inch of this guy. So 1 inch here. And I'll see if I can consolidate into that guy. I don't know if I can or not. Here's the attacks. I'm rerolling 1s for Guilliman. 2s. Strength 7, so I need 3s. 6s are extra. Ooh. We got 4 invulnerables that are 2 damage each, and then 2 mortal wounds. Where is he going to take them on? Drones?
Drones, yeah.
All drones, all the time.
So 4 invulns.
Kills 3 drones, and the mortals kill another.
Yep, so all 4 drones are dead.
All the drones are gone. Bye-bye drones.
Fun.
So let me consolidate around. And I don't know if I can be exactly 1 inch on each side. I can, look at that. So I'm going to engage that commander. Make him choose. He can punch me back. And then I'll be done. We'll come back after his punching and write the score. Alright, end of the combat. These guys piled in. They did their slaps, auto wounding on 6s, even though they hit on 5s. They actually hurt him, but he just had 3 up saves to take, so he's still alive. 3 ups. Spending his life gloriously for the Marines, taking out some drones. Failing that thing, I did not get into the center. My plan was to kind of get Oath by running into the center, but I failed that. He did pick up 2 objectives, though, so he's going to pick up 8 on the primary. He did finish his scan at the beginning of the command phase, so he's going to pick up 3 there. And then on my turn, I picked up Psychic Interrogate. I did assassinate 1 character. And since I did not get to the center, I only got 2 points on Oath. So now we're at the top of 2. It's time for the Tau to retaliate. All right, we're at the end of turn 2's Tau movement phase. So quickly, we forgot to tell you about the Overwatch. He shot and flubbed the rolls. Just rerolling 1s and not all the hits. He only rolled a couple of 6s auto wound. And I made a couple saves. So only 1 intercessor died. But then, of course, we saw he failed the charge. So his turn, this guy's going to elect to shoot. If he kills me in combat shooting, it's still the shooting phase. He can fire and fade and move away. If that guy somehow miraculously lives, he cannot fire and fade out of there. So joke will be on him. Over here, we got the suits coming in. I elected not to Auspex scan because I don't get to shoot twice. And at best, I'd kill like 2 drones. Not worth it. Over here, these guys drop down. I'm going to try to pepper my guys. I put the -1 on the intercessors. Sorry, Hellblasters. You can take it. Over here, these guys did the strategic scan. These guys now are doing Rod, so they'll cover his 2 sides. And the bodyguards, they just backed up to try to be safe. So that's it. All right, let's go to his shooting phase, and we'll come back.
Marker light phase, but...
Marker like, because they marker like actions. All right, here we go. The turn of shooting is over, and man, it was bad. So this suit here, he fired and faded after he shot. We looked it up. It's got to make a normal move, so if he did not kill that Judiciar in combat shooting, he would not be able to fall back. He would have to make a normal move. So the only way he can make a normal move is if nobody's there. But he shot and killed him, and then moved back. Over here, these guys deep struck in and shot and hit a lot of 4s on the hits to the Hellblasters. I opted to put -1 to hit on the intercessors. Mistakes were maybe made, and yeah, they died. He just like rolled a bunch of wounds, and they just picked up those 2 damage hits, man. -3. I couldn't make enough 5s. Intercessors took the brunt of everything. Took all the 8d6 from these guys. Took a couple commanders popping off. They just couldn't do it, man. The 3 damage plasma hits. I rolled pretty good, but 2 damage missile hits. Even with -1 and transhuman, it was just too much. They died down to 1 guy. He hit him with a signature weapon, so it was -4 to my morale. So I had to hit a 1 on the morale or use the auto pass. I probably should have spent the auto pass for points, because that's a point on oath, and I could just run that guy in the center. But like, whatever. Just let him die. Over here, these guys drop down. He was going to drop them and fire and fade with these guys, but we realized when you come in from reserves, you can't make any more additional moves, so they just had to stay here and shoot. So he spent his command points to do the full reroll all hits and wounds, which was nasty. Eradicator's kind of out in the open. He's like takes some 3 damage plasma hits, AP4. They just didn't even get a save. And then the guy in the forest, he had to take some hits, and he had invulnerable save, but the forest didn't even make a dent with all the hits re-rolling and all the wounds re-rolling, so he died as well. So at the bottom of my turn, or beginning of my turn, I picked up the scan, because I scanned with my chaplain, picked up 4 for 1 objective, but I'm pretty much out of models. Like, I literally have just this left. And I have not really tactically done much. So I'll play one more turn out, and we may end up calling it, but that's some brutal shooting. He still has another, this little unit right here. Jeez. We'll be back. All right, bottom of 2 for the Ultramarines. The movement's done and the psychic phase is done. Tigurius ran over here. Bodyguards ran over here out of the forest to try to screen him. He dropped a smite, killed a couple guys. We got this chaplain rolling out. He's going to try to pop some shots down there. Over here, Eisenhorn ran up, psychically interrogated that guy, and then cast Psychic Veil, so he's harder to shoot, but look, there's those guys over there. Probably not so great for him. Guilliman is charging up inevitably. He's got Veil of Time off, so he can re-roll that charge. Vitre's Guard, they moved up so they could potentially try to go for a long ball. And then we got this guy thinking about doing something crazy. Unlikely. But that's it, man. Looking rough. We'll come back after this shooting and charging is done. All right, here we are, bottom of turn 2. The dust has settled, and it was pretty lackluster. So let's walk through it. The score, we might let him play one more turn, but it's pretty much over right here. So we needed a 10-inch charge here. He didn't make it. Guilliman needed a 6. Yeah, but then he was -2 because I've got a strat. So he needed an 8. He rolled a 7. And with Veil of Time, he rolled a 2. So he failed it. It's to stand there. These guys made a long 9-inch charge into some suits. He did not have invulnerable saves. I was surprised. But then I didn't wound him very much, and he made some 6s, so one guy took 3 wounds. Not even a dead suit. Over here, these guys need a morale. Did they make it? Smiting a couple bullets, only killed 4. Their leadership, what? A 4 is not going to make it. They lost 4 dudes? They're definitely not leadership 8. No way.
Leadership 8. Yeah.
No! Oh, that's not a Sarge. So they make their leadership.
Oh, did we pull the Sarge?
No. You never would. Why would you pull the
Sarge?
Sarge?
I think we did pull the Sarge.
I pulled them because, yes. So they're good there. Free to get engaged for another. Oh, they can't get engaged now because they're small. Yep. Oh, new rules. Interesting. Yeah, but these guys are just going to fall back again. They could just fall back and shoot. So, suck. Yeah, do we even need to play this?
And advance 18 inches.
You can't advance because you're falling back.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying they can also advance 18 inches. Like, that's a thing that they can do.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Not take any penalties.
I think we may call it, right? Like what?
I mean, I'm good to if you want to.
Yeah, I don't want to subject you viewers to anything else. I'm like, I'm just going to get destroyed right here. Well, that's it.
It's really dumb.
He's going to pick up a lot of primary. I guess I'll hold him for one more turn, but I won't have any models after this. We're going to call it here, guys. I don't know that we need to tally the score. I think we'll just call it and say, hey, that's the new Tau. Get ready. It's real. Air bursting bodyguards. I've seen a few different bodyguard loadouts. That's nasty. Ignore cover. Nasty. It's 24 inches, so if you got some movement to charge, Vanguard Vets would be fantastic. So there's options, but I'm going to have to retool this list and think about it. But that's it for us. Signing off. Joe, thank you so much for the game, and man, new Tau. We'll be back. If you like what you see here, subscribe, share, come back and watch the next one. We're going to have more Tau. We're going to have some new Genestealer Cult, and then, of course, you're always going to have lots of Ultramarines. I'm going to solve this puzzle. I'm not giving up.